RUBEN AMORIM'S position as Manchester United manager is in major doubt after his criticism of the club's hierarchy. Amorim's position is uncertain after his astonishing attack on the United board following Sunday's 1-1 draw with Leeds. Sign up for the Man United newsletter. Thank you. RUBEN AMORIM'S position as Man Utd boss is under serious threat. Credit. AP. Jason Wilcox and Omar Berrada would have been stunned by the outburst. Credit. Getty. The 40-year-old complained about his head coach title and insisted he be referred to as the manager. And Amorim aimed another thinly veiled jibe at director of football Jason Wilcox after a move for Bournemouth winger Antoine Semenyo failed to materialise. Amorim promised he would not quit but demanded more control amid a transfer window standoff. He said, "I came here to be the manager of Manchester United, not to be the coach of Manchester United." Read more in football, and that is clear. I know that my name is not Tuchel, it's not Conte, it's not Mourinho, but I'm the manager of Manchester United. And it's going to be like this for 18 months or when the board decides to change. So that was my point. I want to finish with that. Best free bets and betting sign-up offers. I'm not going to quit. I will do my job until other guy is coming here to replace me. I just want to say that I'm going to be the manager of this team, not just the coach. Most read in football, and I was really clear on that. And that is going to finish in 18 months and then everyone is going to move on. That was the deal. That is my job, not to be a coach. If people cannot handle the Gary Nevilles and the criticisms of everything, we need to change the club. I just want to say that I came here to be the manager of Manchester United, not to be the coach. United were prepared to sign Semenyo before Manchester City emerged as the frontrunners. It is unclear if Amorim wanted Semenyo or preferred to strengthen another area of the squad. United plan to overhaul their central midfield but not until the summer. 8 first-team players have missed the last 2 games and United have won only 3 of their past 11 matches. RUBEN Amorim record at Man Utd. Played 63, wins 24, draws 18, losses 21. Win rate 38.10%. Despite that poor return, United briefly rose to 5th in the Premier League after coming from behind to gain a point at Leeds. Amorim had hinted at issues behind the scenes before he effectively challenged the United hierarchy to back him or sack him at Elland Road. United have rarely spent in winter transfer windows since the mid-season coup of Bruno Fernandes in January 2020. Both winter arrivals last year, Patrick Dorgu and Aidan Heaven, were club-led signings that Amorim approved. Amorim revealed on Boxing Day he sometimes has to find common ground with former Southampton director of football Wilcox. Wilcox worked with United chief executive Omar Berrada at City before the pair moved to United in 2024. United's director of recruitment, Christopher Vavell, also appeared to be in the firing line during Amorim's outburst. Recommended stories. It came after a report claimed Vavell expressed frustration at United's 1-1 draw with Fulham in August. After the game, Fulham manager Marco Silva and midfielder Alex Iwobi outlined how they exploited Amorim's 3-4-2-1 system. A Timeline of Amorim's Christmas Fallout, by Catherine Walsh. Ratcliffe's perceived heated chat with Wilcox and CEO Omar Berrada after the 4-1 win at Molineux on December 8 largely went under the radar. The trio were pictured in an animated discussion immediately after Wolves scored their equalising goal just after half-time. United then lost Ahmad, Brian Mabumo and Nosair Mazraoui to AFCON after the 4-4 draw with Bournemouth, and skipper Bruno Fernandes limped off in the defeat at Villa Park. Amorim then laid down his first marker by admitting he may not get the money necessary to perfect his 3-4-3 in his Christmas Eve pre-match conference ahead of the Toons visit. Speaking after the 1-0 win over Newcastle, Amorim then made an interesting comment on failing to reach common ground with transfer boss Wilcox. He said, "I have one idea, Jason and board have another idea. Every decision that we make, we need to reach a common ground. That is really important. Because you don't need to make everything for the manager, because the manager can change and you need to change everything, but the manager understands the way of playing." Amorim then walked in with a huge frown on his face on Friday, January 2 at Carrington. It was the grouchiest this reporter has ever seen Amorim, who before that walked into pre-match conferences with a smile on his face and regular jovial quips for the room. He then uncharacteristically point-blank refused to answer a question and gave short, pointed replies to others. Amorim was asked to explain why he did not know the position around recruitment when he joined United from Sporting in November 2024. "I don't want to talk about that," he said. "I just focus on the Leeds game." Amorim then said he did not regret his comments prior to the Newcastle match before being asked again, by the same journalist, if something had changed in relation to the transfer budget. Once more, he replied, "I don't want to talk about that." Then, after a brief pause, and after the United media official sitting next to Amorim at the press conference had begun to say who would ask the next question, the Portuguese added, "But you are very smart, so." Then came the extraordinary rant at Leeds 2 days later. A recent report claimed Christopher Vavell, United's head of recruitment, called on Amorim to adapt his system after a particularly detailed explanation by Fulham boss Marco Silva of his plan to counter it following the 1-1 draw at Craven Cottage in August. While United officials have tried to create a picture of harmony, their words are being tested by Amorim. He clearly thinks the parameters of the job he was sold have changed. Man Utd signings under Ruben Amorim. Aiden Heaven, Patrick Dorgu, Diego Leon, Mateus Cunha, Brian Mabumo, Benjamin Sesko, Sen Lamens. Ticket plus hotel room for Man Utd games from £155. Get tickets to see Man Utd at Old Trafford with our hand-picked deals. The packages, offered by Sports Breaks, include an official match ticket and an overnight stay in a hand-picked hotel. If you click on a link in this article, we will earn affiliate revenue. Man United home games. The 30th of December. V Wolves. From £155 and 17 pence Jan. V Manchester City. From £225 and 31 pence Jan. V Fulham. From £199. The 7th of February. V Tottenham. From £229 and 28 pence February. V Crystal Palace. From £189 and 14 pence Mar. V Aston Villa. From £199. The 11th of April. V Leeds United. From £204 and 25 pence April. V Brentford. From £179 and 20 pence May. V Liverpool. From £279. The 17th of May. V Nottingham Forest. From £199.